Namaskaram Prabhujis, Matajis. Welcome to our satsang today, the Mandukya Upanishad, Levels of Consciousness. Today's class, we will dive into understanding some of the previous concepts which we discussed on the levels of consciousness. And also we will attempt to complete the first 5 verses of the Mandukya Upanishad. So the topics for today, a review, source of creation, because the Mandukya Upanishad also discusses creation, the creative aspects of the Lord, okay, related with Om. And then a closer look at sound, because we cannot separate the discussion of the Mandukya Upanishad from the discussion on sound. And the Mandukya Upanishad basically is a very deep description of the levels of consciousness and how Om, AUM is pronounced as Om, not Aum. Uh, the levels of consciousness are all embedded within Om. And we will attempt to complete the first 5 verses. So that's the plan for today. So the invocation prayer, before we go through the Sanskrit, and I'll play you an audio clip, because I do not want to do injustice by mispronouncing the Sanskrit. So I have an audio clip on standby for you to listen. And after the class, I will send you a copy of that audio clip. So that audio clip, which is in Sanskrit, I'll put it at the bottom here. What it says is, Om, O gods, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. May we, who are engaged in sacrifices, with our eyes, see what is auspicious. May we, singing praises, which means the kirtan that we do, live with healthy bodies, because with healthy bodies, then we can sing well. We can sing beautiful artis and bhajans, okay? And with perfect limbs, our allotted days. Okay, while we are having a healthy body, we can do all this. May Indra, of great fame, okay, the Prime Minister of Heaven, basically, most ancient of wisdom listeners, be gracious unto us. So we're asking for the blessings from Lord Indra. May the all-knowing, all-illuminating nourisher, the sun, be gracious unto us. May Aruna, who is the charioteer for the sun, and Garuda, the vehicle for Vishnu, be gracious unto us. May Brahaspati is the guru for the Devas, the Lord of the Word. That's why he's called the Lord of the Word, because he is the one who teaches the Devas. Okay, so may Brahaspati, the Lord of the Word, be gracious unto us. And then it concludes with Om Shantihi, Shantihi, Shantihi. So now you can see the Sanskrit text over here. I shall play the audio. Okay, here we go.
भद्रं पश्ये माक्षभिर्यजत्रा स्थिरैरङ्गैस्तुष्टुवागुंसस्तनूभिः व्यशेम देवहितं यदायुः स्वस्ति न इन्द्रो वृद्धश्रवाः स्वस्ति नः पूषा विश्ववेदाः स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः.
Okay, so that was the audio, and the audio will be shared with you after the class. Okay, so now before we actually go to the Mandukya Upanishad, let's understand the invocation prayer first. The invocation prayer basically gives us the ignition to understand and assimilate the Upanishad. Okay, so we have to give due acknowledgement to the Devas, to Bhagavan, before we embark on this journey in studying the Mandukya Upanishad. So first we say Om, which is the sacred syllable symbolizing the ultimate reality, the universe, and the essence of the Mandukya Upanishad itself. Because the Mandukya Upanishad is a complete description of Om. The Upanishad explores the mystic significance of Om and its connection to consciousness. What is the purpose? It acts as a spiritual opening. It aligns us as seekers with the cosmic vibration of Om. And then the next phrase in invocation prayer says, O gods, may we hear with our ears what is auspicious. May we who are engaged in sacrifice, which means when we do yajnas, when we do our puja, with our eyes we see what is auspicious. Meaning, it is a plea, because it's very easy to misuse our sensories, our senses, our five senses. Is very easy to misuse them. So it's a plea for sensory experiences, hearing and seeing, to be directed towards what is good, what is auspicious, uplifting, and sacred aspects of our life. And what is the purpose? The purpose is on hearing and seeing symbolizes receiving divine wisdom and avoiding distractions or negativity. Okay. Then further on, the invocation prayer says, may we, while we are singing praises, live with healthy bodies and with perfect limbs for our allotted days. So for the rest of our lives, may we continue to sing praises and live with healthy bodies and perfect limbs. Meaning, a prayer for physical well-being and longevity to fulfill one's spiritual duties and sacrifices. The purpose, the health is seen as a prerequisite for pursuing higher spiritual truths, ensuring a harmonious balance of body and mind. Because if we fall sick, seriously sick, it is very difficult for us to pursue our spiritual pursuits, because not only will our physical bodies be affected, the physical body will affect our mental capacities to think clearly also, because of the illnesses that we experience. So here we are praying to Bhagavan and the Devas to please give us an opportunity of having healthy bodies, perfect limbs for the rest of our lives. And then it continues with, may Indra of great fame, most ancient of wisdom listeners, be gracious unto us. So Indra is the king of the gods, or the prime minister of the gods in Vedic tradition. He is associated with strength, wisdom, and protection. Meaning, we are seeking the favor of Indra to provide wisdom, strength, and guidance during our spiritual journey. Then may the all-knowing, all-illumining nourisher, the sun, which is in the verse referred to as Pusha, okay, be gracious unto us. So soon the sun, or Surya Dev, is a symbol of knowledge, light, and sustenance. Meaning, acknowledging the sun as a source of enlightenment, nurturing us, okay, as seekers, nurturing our minds with wisdom and clarity. Then may Aruna and Garuda, the two famous birds, they were both brothers, okay? Aruna being the elder brother and Garuda being the younger brother. Aruna was the charioteer for Surya Dev. Okay, I wouldn't say was, Aruna is the charioteer for Surya Dev. So may Aruna and Garuda be gracious unto us. So Aruna, the charioteer of the sun, symbolizing the dawn and awakening of our consciousness. Garuda, the celestial bird and vehicle of Lord Vishnu, representing swiftness, strength, and protection. Meaning, invoking these entities for support in navigating our spiritual journey with clarity and speed. Okay? And may Baraspati, the guru of the Devas, the in charge of all the Devas, who gives them knowledge, the Lord of the Word, be gracious unto us. So Baraspati, the guru of the gods, the deity of wisdom, speech, and learning, meaning we are requesting him for blessings to articulate, understand, and internalize the teachings that we are going to get from this Mandukya Upanishad. So that's the wonderful meaning of this invocation prayer. Okay, so the invocation it is actually more than a prayer. It is a mental, it is preparing us mentally for spiritual knowledge. It seeks blessings for auspiciousness, health, clarity, and guidance from divine forces. It aligns our body, our senses, body and mind with the ultimate goal of self-realization, so that we have a conducive environment so that we can think about the truths which we are going to get from the Mandukya Upanishad. So we are invoking both internal health and clarity and external. We are looking for divine blessings as well in our journey. So the mantra helps to establish a holistic framework for our pursuit, for us as seekers in obtaining this spiritual wisdom. Okay? So the introduction. As I mentioned, there are only 12 verses. And where does this Upanishad come? It comes from the end of the Athara Veda. And what does it explain? It explains the qualities of Om, which includes the three states of consciousness, Jagrati, which is the waking state. Right now, we are all awake. Okay, this is Jagrati. Swapna, which is the sleeping state where you have dreams. And Shushupti, which is deep sleep, the stage of sleeping where you have no dreams. And then the underlying fourth state of illumination, which is Turiya. Turiya is the one which makes you realize whether you had a dream or whether you had deep sleep or whether you were awake. That is why it's considered the underlying fourth state of consciousness, Turiya. All right? So Jagrati, Swapna, and Shushupti correspond to the Traya Sharira. So in your earlier class on the Traya Sharira, where we studied Sthula Sharira, Shukshma Sharira, and Karana Sharira, it's a perfect match. Okay, so Jagrati corresponds to Sthula Sharira, the waking state of the gross body, Swapna to the Shukshma Sharira, the dreaming state mind, and Shushupti to the Karana Sharira, the causal state, the deep sleep, dreamless state. Okay. Turiya, the underlying pure consciousness. It is the background. It is the underlying factor. And it transcends. It makes us realize which state we were in, whether we were in Jagrati, Swapna, or Shushupti. Okay? So Jagrati, when we are awake, we rely on our body. We rely, for example, you're listening to me now, so you're relying on your ability to hear. And if your visual is on, you can also see me. So Jagrati relies on the body, the senses, and the mind. Jagrati has subjective interpretations. So when you listen to somebody, if 10 people listen to the same topic, they may have 10 different interpretations of what the same topic, but 10 different interpretations. Why? Because it's subjective interpretations. So Jagrati exists as long as a person is alive. As long as we are alive, we are still breathing and we are okay. When we have periods of being awake, we experience Jagrati. And in Jagrati, because we are having subjective interpretations, errors are possible. And we can make errors because of our misunderstandings. Due to ignorance, we don't understand a topic completely, and then we make errors. And the person is considered conscious. Okay, so that's Jagriti. Swapna, when you are in the deep, not deep, but in dream state, it does not rely on your senses anymore because you are asleep and you're dreaming. But in your dreams, you also have subjective interpretations because in your dream, you may be going through a particular dream where you're doing something or the other and you're making decisions on something or the other. And also you're thinking in certain ways during your dream. So even during your dream, you can make mistakes. Errors are possible because of ignorance. But in this case, the person is considered not conscious because his senses have gone to sleep. It is only his mind working overtime to create all these dreams. Okay. So Jagrati could be interpreted as a prolonged swapna. Think about it, because they are interrelated. Swapna and Jagrati are interrelated in the sense that we make subjective decisions. The fact is Jagrati is prolonged. For example, we might be awake for 12, 14 hours and then we go and sleep for 8 hours. So while we are sleeping, we think that all the dreams that we are having are very real. But then when we wake up and then we think that our existence now while we are awake is real. So Jagrati could be interpreted as a prolonged swapna, a longer swapna filled with subjective interpretations with errors being possible. Shushupti does not rely on the body or the senses because there's no dream. There are no subjective interpretations because there's no dream. You're not using your mind also, it's gone to rest. But we can remember Shushupti as an invigorating experience because when our mind goes to rest, when we are sleeping and we are not even having a dream, when we wake up from that deep sleep, we feel invigorated. And because our mind wasn't working at all, it had also gone to sleep just like our bodies are resting, no errors were possible. And the person is also considered not conscious, okay? And how do we realize that we went through Shushupti, Jagrati, or Swapna? Through Turiya. So when we wake up in the morning, we remember, oh, I had a very invigorating sleep. You know, my sleep was uninterrupted. I didn't have any nonsense dreams coming into my mind. It was very restful. And because of that, there are no, yeah, please, I see Rakita Mataji raising her hand. Please go ahead.
So I wanted to know the meaning of invigorating. I'm not able to understand.
Invigorating means it charges you up, okay? Makes you feel good about yourself. That's what invigorating means. Sorry, I used the word.
Okay. No.
But it makes you feel energized.
Okay.
There's another word for invigorating, feeling energized. Okay?
Thank you, sir.
No, I thank you for raising your hand. It's good. So now we look at the famous symbol of Om. So Jagrati is over here. This bottom left here, where my cursor is. Can you see my cursor moving up and down? Okay? This bottom part on the left is Jagrati. Then the curve on the right, where I put number 2 here, the numeral number 2, is Swapna. So Jagrati, wakefulness, Swapna, the sleeping state. Then the upper part of the limb here, where you see the symbol looks like number 3. So number 3 is here. That's a deep sleep state or Shushupti. Okay? And Turiya is that asterisk which you see, the underlying factor, not the bindu yet. Okay? But this is called the nada. The Turiya, the symbol here, this is called the nada. It's the underlying consciousness. Turiya is composed of 2 parts, the nada and the bindu. The bindu is the dot which you see over here, and the underlying curve, that is the nada. So these are the different parts of Om. And the 4 levels of consciousness are all embedded in that symbol. So in the symbol, further to understanding this, is the part. Of course, when you say Aum, when you put A, U, and M together, it's pronounced as Om, right? So the part is the Akara, which is the beginning. Beginning means you are alert and it relies on external stimulation. External stimuli. The gross body is required for using the senses, for example. For us to rely on external stimulus, we need our gross body to be awake, Jagrati, right? So it is, and the sound is Vaikari. While I'm speaking to you now, the audible sound is called Vaikari, all right? When you're sleeping, if I'm speaking next to you while you're sleeping, you will not be able to hear me because your ears have gone to sleep. Okay, unless I speak really loud, then you'll wake up because somebody's speaking really loudly. But otherwise, if I speak in a normal tone while you're sleeping, you will continue to sleep. So Vaikari is of no use in Swapna or Shushupti or even Turiya. So the part is Akara, beginning, relies on external stimuli, and the sound is Vaikari. Then we go to Ukara, the U part, the U part, the middle part. It is also called the link. Okay, it's a dream state, but luminous. Why it's called dream state but luminous? Because when we dream in full technicolor. We do not dream in black and white. Okay, so it is very luminous. So it's known as Tejas, Tejas. And the stimuli projected is from the experiences that we have. All the dreams that we have are projections of experiences that we have had before. So whether it's a wonderful dream or a scary dream that we had, they're all projections of our experiences which we play out in our dreams. And the sound is called Madhyama. Madhyama means mental sound. The sound is playing in your head. It is no more Vaikari. Vaikari, you need the vocal cords. So you need sound waves, and then that's Vaikari. Madhyama, the sound is playing in your head. For example, if you listen to your favorite Hindi song, for example, or your favorite bhajan, which is playing in your head, that is Madhyama, the mental sound which is playing out. Then we move to Makara, renewal or removal, deep sleep. Because remember, deep sleep is invigorating. It is energizing. It makes us feel brand new, all we're feeling very fresh in the morning, because it is given an opportunity for the body to remove or to renew itself. No external stimuli is required, so the senses are all asleep. It is dormant, and the sound is pashanti, basically imagery. Okay, no more mental sound, it's just images. Okay, that's why known as pashanti. Finally, the Lord is the original cause, karana, represented by nada. Nada, which I told you, this asterisk over here, that's the nada. The sound that is unmanifested, is unmanifested sound, is still in the state of vibration. It hasn't manifested itself yet. His counterpart is karya, represented by the bindu. So this is karana, okay, the cause, and karya, the effect, the bindu, the point where Shakti springs out. The kinetic energy comes out from Shakti. Prior to that, it is all potential energy. The energy is building up, okay, to creation. So this is Saguna, the Lord with attributes. And the sound is para because it is pure. The unstruck is called the unstruck melody also. Why? Because it is soundless sound. So it's an unstruck melody. It is known as para, which is pure sound. Okay, not even Pashanti, definitely not Madhyama or Vaikari. But we will go deeper into understanding this. And then very quickly on this inverted banyan tree where the roots are going upwards. Okay. For us in the material universe, for example, just like a tree, the trees are rooted into planet Earth. The roots go downwards. So our entanglement in this material world is compared here to a banyan tree. For one who is engaged in fruitive activities, which means we do something because we want to get something in return, then we do something else because we have something else in return, okay? There is no end to this banyan tree. Such a person wanders from one branch to another, and the tree to this material world has got no end. And for one who is attached to this tree, there is no possibility of liberation because he is so well entrapped by this banyan tree, jumping from one branch to another. Okay? And the roots are in planet Earth. The Vedic hymns, for example, even the Mandukya Upanishad is actually a Vedic hymn, is meant for elevating ourselves. They are called the leaves of the tree. However, if we misuse the hymns of the tree, let's say we study the Mandukya Upanishad because we want to become better people so that we can become more rich and famous. Okay, we can have more people respecting us, etc., etc. We are misusing the hymns. Yes, the devas, they will come and give us more allotments, of okay, you want more property, you want more friends, more position. They'll bless you with it because you are doing a good job saying all the prayers and you're practicing your sadhana very well. But what happens? You're getting more and more entangled in the material universe rather than using the same hymns that can give you liberation. So it's up to you. So the liberating tree's roots grow upwards because they begin where the Lord Brahma is located, the topmost planet of the universe. If we can understand this indestructible tree of illusion, we can then get out of it. So rather than going from one branch to another where our roots are in planet Earth, we can say We want to use these Vedic hymns in the form of the leaves from the same tree, and we want to use it to elevate ourselves back to where we came from. We do not belong to planet Earth. We are here because of our previous deeds. So Bhagavan has given us an opportunity now to redeem ourselves, to get this knowledge and actions, do the proper actions through Dharma, to elevate ourselves and leave this material universe. So Om helps us link our entire consciousness from wakefulness in the material universe to wakefulness in the spiritual universe. So from wakefulness to deep sleep, finally to the supreme. So now it comes to creation, the nada and the bindu. So when creation began, the nada and then the bindu is like a pebble being dropped in the water, and then the ripples spread out, okay? So we have drifted further and further away in the ripple, forgetting that actually we started in the middle where the pebble dropped. We've forgotten how to come back to our original source because we have drifted further and further and further away from the original bindu, okay? So what we have to do is apply what is known as Purva Paksha. You see the 4 white arrows going back to the droplet where the pebble dropped in and created the ripple. So move it back. Find your source. What's the meaning of Purva Paksha? It's an assertion. It is an argument or a fact refuting that is necessary, which means I refuse to accept that this creation just keeps on going outwards. I'm disagreeing with this. I want to reverse that creation and go back to my source. Okay? I can share this with you. On the 1st of January, I had a dream. And in the dream, a statement was playing in my head. May you be blessed with no more creation. Then I woke up and I told my missus, I said, you know what? In my dream, this is the blessing I got. May you be blessed with no more creation. And I understand why that thought came into my mind, because we have accepted there must always be creation, always be creation. There will always be creation as long as we have unsatisfied desires. As long as we have unsatisfied material desires, there will guaranteed be creation for us. If we come to a state of santosh, contentment, we can say, bas, enough of this creation. I want to go back to my original source. Refuse to say that there is further creation. Not easy to do. Okay? But at least now you understand the tools, what you can use to do so. So this diagram of a plant is a very nice way of understanding this. So on the right-hand side, you can see a mature plant with a beautiful flower. Okay? So this is our state. We are all flowers in our own way. Some of us are roses. Some of us are carnations. Some of us are lotus flowers. Some of us are dahlias, and different kinds of flowers. We have different colors also. Even amongst roses, some are red, some are white, some are yellow. Same with many other flowers. Okay, so this plant with the flowers, which are representing all of us in our different representations, is the mature plant, and is also a representation of Vaikari. Okay, Stula Sharira, because it is gross and it is awake, Jagrati. So you go a bit left on that plant description here. You go to an immature plant. Okay, the immature plant here, which is Madhyama. It is thinking, the thoughts are there that I want to become a flower, but I'm not a flower yet. I'm thinking of it. So in that state, it is, you can relate it to Swapna or the Shukshma Sharira. All right. And it is mental language. Differentiation begins here. Once we are plants, we are fully differentiated. Then further left is the Pashanti stage, which is the Karana Sharira. Visual ideas. Okay, think about Om. When you think about this, this is the Turiya, this is the Shushupti, Swapna, and Jagrati here. So Pashanti is the visualization. This is the thoughts, all right? And this is the visualization, visual ideas, the seed sprouts. And then if you look at the furthest left, okay, we'll focus on the para part, the dormant seed. When it is a dormant seed, there's no differentiation. You don't even know whether it's going to become a flower, whether it's going to become a vegetable, it's going to become a tree. There's no differentiation. It is the Mahakarana. It is divine. And is purified. It is basically divine will or purified Karana. Then if you look at the bottom here, when we have certain vibrations within ourselves, okay, it translates to certain feelings. That's why they call it bhav. When you pray to God with intensity, for example, it creates certain bhavs within yourself because the vibrations are being converted to feelings. When you love someone very much, the vibrations get converted to feelings. So the para gets converted to pashanti. You kept thinking, you get visualizations, you see Bhagavan in different forms, or you see your beloved ones, your family members, for example, in a material context, you see them, you see their pictures all the time, you have visualizations of them all the time. So the vibrations have been converted to feelings. Then the feelings then get converted to thoughts. So the pashanti, the visualizations get converted to, you think about them constantly. You think about Bhagavan constantly, or you think about your loved ones constantly. And then from thoughts to forms, because that Bhagavan, whom you love very much, has a form. The individuals that you love very much, they have a form. So the thoughts that get converted to forms. So the Madhyama gets converted to Vaikari. So when you think about it, whether it's a seed, whether you're a flower, whether you're a sprouting individual, okay, and whether you're a rose plant, whether you're a vegetable, whether you're a lotus flower, you are complete. So if you look at the bottom of the slide, our body is complete. Our world, think about it. Your body is complete. You don't need anything else. Your body is complete. This world is sustaining itself on its own. The world is complete. Our solar system with the 9 planets and the sun is complete. Our galaxy, the Milky Way, is complete. Our universe is complete. Though they appear to be interdependent, if you take one complete system out of another complete system, it does not reduce the completeness. Okay? By ourselves, we are already complete. So when we extend that, the solar system is complete, the universe is complete, the galaxy is complete, etc., etc. So when we look at, coming back to Om, having in the background, okay, in your Pashanti, you saw the visualization of the plant, right? With the flower coming out, and at the other extreme on the left-hand side, you had the dormant seed. So now with that, the Mandukya Upanishad opens by declaring Om. This syllable is the whole world. Okay, this whole world came from Om because it's creation. Nada Bindu created the world, created the galaxies, created the universe. So this discussion is built on a structure of 4 thoughts. You know the 4 parts of Om now, right? That's why it's called 4 thoughts. 4 thoughts. Or fourfold is derived of A plus U plus M plus silence. The silence is the nada and the bindu without an element. So Om has all states of time. So verse 1 of the Upanishad says that time is threefold: past, present, future. And all this I Om. Why? Because time, when we take it in light, is collapsed into O. The fourth, which transcends time, which means the nada and bindu, which is above time, that is also O expressed. All right? We will explain it further. So this is the Sanskrit. Hari Om, Om iti ta daksharam idam sarvam tasyo pavyakhyanam bhutam bhavad bhavishat iti sarvamondkara eva yachanyat trikalalitam tad api onkara eva. Okay, I did a terrible job pronouncing it, but here we go in English. Hari Om. Om, the word is all that is. It is past, present, and future. Everything is Om. That is beyond the triple conception of time, which is past, present, and future, is also Om. So all different objects that we see around us are identified by names. Okay, so I gave you the example of that plant. So you might call it a lotus flower. You might call it a dahlia, a rose, whatever. Okay, a cactus plant, whatever you want to call it, doesn't matter. So all these are identified by names. When we are using names, we are saying Vaikari. Somebody has a particular name. So in Madhyama and Vaikari, these names can differ and they can bring about different interpretations. For example, if I tell you Donald Trump, straight away you think of somebody, Donald Trump. If I tell you Joe Biden, you think straight away somebody. If I tell you Narendra Modi, you remember straight away, you have an impression of what that person is about. Okay? Why? Because this is Madhyama and Vaikari. These names can differ and bring about different interpretations. For those who are not supporters of the BJP, when you tell them Narendra Modi, they have a different view. But supporters of the BJP, if you tell them Narendra Modi, they have a different view. Subjective, different interpretations. In Para and Pashanti, the source of transmission is light. Imagery, names, and objects are identical. There's no more differentiation in Para and Pashanti. Differentiation only comes in Madhyama and Vaikari. Before that, there's no differentiation. So once it becomes a thought, there's differentiation. When it's a picture, for example, if I give you a picture of Donald Trump and I don't tell you who he is or what he does, you will have no mental conceptions. You have nothing to say about a person. But once you have developed an understanding of what you think is correct about that person, then it is no more non-differentiation. Differentiation has already begun. So imagery, names, and objects and identical, known in this way, when you understand how we create this subjective differentiation, when you know it this way, the highest Brahman can be known to you. Okay? So in verse 2, looking at the time, we will just do the English translation. Okay? So now, in the first verse, Bhagavan has taught us that all concepts of time are in O. And what is beyond time is also in O. So in the second verse, Bhagavan tells us, all this is Brahman. The self is Brahman. The self has 4 quarters, which you already know the 4 quarters. So I purposely put on the top right here, you can see the 4 quarters are all here. The 3 and the 4th part here, Turiya. So all this is Brahman. What is Brahman meaning here? The cosmic consciousness. We are all sharing the same cosmic consciousness, but we have chosen to differentiate ourselves in different ways. Okay? So that is the second verse. The third verse. The first quarter, Prathama Padaha, is Vaishvanara. So this part where it is called Jagrati, the wakefulness, is known as Vaishvanara. Why is it called Vaishvanara? Its field is Jagrati, which you know already. Its consciousness is outwardly tuned because you need to be awake in Jagrati to be able to use your senses. And because that is the case, you are outward focused. So it enjoys outward focused gross objects, Sthula Sharira. Vishwa, so you're going back to Vaishvanara, right? Vishwa here means universe and Naraha means man. So therefore, it can be translated as a universal man or what is common to all men. Common to all of us is an understanding of Jagrati. We all understand the waking state. When we are using our senses, we are fantastic. We understand things very well. But when it comes to the higher levels of understanding, when it goes to Shushupti, not many understand. But Jagrati, it is common. That is why it is known as Vaishvanara, outward focused person. Okay? He is not engaging in Nivritti. He's engaging in Pravritti. Remember your earlier class. Pravritti is your outward focus in life. Nivritti is your inward focus. So a Vaishvanara is engaging in Pravritti. So now the description of the third verse, it says there are 7 limbs, Sapta Anga, corresponding to this cosmic body rather than the physical body, and they encompass the manifest universe. The heavens are the head. That's your Sasrara Chakra. Okay? That's why it's 7, you count. 7 Sasrara Chakra. The sun is your Ajna Chakra, the air, and then the air is your one of your chakras, you have your 7 chakras, right? So your air is your Anahata Chakra. Then the fire, your Manipura Chakra, is your heart. Your water is your stomach, which is your Swadhisthana Chakra. The earth is as your feet, which is your Muladhara Chakra. And the space is your Vishuddhi Chakra. So when it says there are 7 limbs, it is actually your 7 chakras. So the Om explains about the 7 chakras. And it has 19 mouths. So a person who doesn't understand Mandukya Upanishad will be talking, what nonsense is this verse talking about? 7 limbs. I only have 4 limbs. I have 2 hands and 2 legs. What 7 limbs? No, it's not talking about your physical limbs. It's chakras. And it says 19 mouths. Well, I only have 1 mouth. What rubbish are you talking about? This 19 mouths corresponds to your Jnanendriyas, your 5 sensory organs, your 5 organs of action, Karmendriya, 5 pranas, your Pancha Prana, Prana, Apana, Vyana, Udana, Samana, your 5 pranas. And then your Antakarana, Manas, Buddhi, Chitta, Ahamkar. So if you add 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 4, 19. So these are the 19 organs that we have to interrelate with this universe. Okay, so that is why we have 19 mouths. It's commonly summed. Okay, 4th verse. Again, we just go through the English translation. Okay, the 2nd quarter, we did the 1st quarter, and then we understood about the 7 chakras, the 19 mouths, the Vaishvanara, the outwardly focused person. Okay, that is the first portion of the Om symbol. Now we're talking about the 2nd part, the Swapna portion. Okay, the 2nd quarter is known as the Dvitaya Padaha and is Taijasa because it creates mental imagery. The feel is a dream state, Swapna. Its consciousness is inward and solitary tune. It is 7-limbed and also 19-mouthed. And now you understand why 7-limbed and 19-mouthed. Because even in your dreams, you rely on your chakras and you rely on Anendriyas, your Karmendriyas, your Antakarana, and the Pancha Prana. Okay? It enjoys subtle objects, not gross objects, subtle objects. Tejas is a subtle aspect. In terms of consciousness, the dream state, Swapna, is perception of what is internal, the Anta Prajna, created by waking experiences. Remember, dreams are manifestation of what we experience in our lives. Okay? So everything that we dream is basically projection of what we have experienced before. And Tejas represents a luminous, energetic activity of constructing those dreams. Okay, so that's the 2nd quarter. And verse 5, the 3rd quarter, the Titraya Padaha, the top part over here, okay, the deep sleep state, the Shushupti part. The 3rd quarter, the Tritaya Padaha, is Prajna, where one neither desires anything nor beholds any dream. Why? Because it's dreamless. It's deep sleep. In this field of dreamless sleep, one becomes undivided, undifferentiated mass of consciousness. Bliss prevails. It is known as Ananda Book. Through the cessation of mental activity leading to wisdom, awareness, and discovery. When we say prajna, it is a higher level of jnana. Jnana is in Hindi is gyan, knowledge. So in Sanskrit is jnana. So a higher level of jnana is prajna, okay, higher level. So this causal aspect is superlative of jnana, a higher level of jnana, and the mouth is consciousness. Okay, so this is the third portion described in verse number 5. So here we go. We did this, which is in verse number 3. Verse number 4 is this swapna portion, and verse number 5, the shushupti portion. So we did, and basically this is a quick revision, the akara, the ukara, makara part, and then the karana nada. We haven't done a further description in verse 6 and onwards for Turiya and nada, which we'll do in the next class. So remember this. Now, bringing back this slide to you, why? Why does the Lord create differentiation when he knows that differentiation is going to cause conflict? It is going to cause, I am better than you, my country is better than your country, my race is better than your race, my religion is better than your religion, etc., etc., etc. That differentiation was not created to let our egos determine whether we are superior or not. It is for us to, in our own unique way, serve one another and serve the Lord. If, for example, the only flower on planet Earth is the rose, and not only is the rose, it is a red rose. So all flowers which you see around planet Earth, whether you're in India, in Malaysia, in the US, in Europe, anywhere, it is only the red rose. How boring it will be. So Bhagavan says there are many, many kinds of flowers, and they all have a purpose. They all have different fragrances, and they have all value. So our job is to subdue the ahamkar, the ego, by saying, I am better than you. We all have the seed within us, and the seed is the seed of consciousness, which is the same in everyone. So we are given this opportunity of differentiation to serve the Lord in different ways, and to serve one another in different ways. We have different jobs, for example. Why? So that we can serve society in different ways. We have lawyers, we have engineers, we have doctors. Is an engineer better than a doctor? Is a doctor better than a lawyer? No. They all have their own individual duties, responsibilities to serve society, serve their families, themselves, and ultimately to serve the Lord. That is the purpose of differentiation. Unfortunately, in the material universe, we use differentiation to subdue other people, control other people, by making other people feel smaller and make us feel great. That is the problem with the material universe, and that is why we have to slowly, through the roots of the banyan tree, which are facing upwards, leave this material universe. Okay, that's the class, and I'll quickly go through a few review questions with you. I promise you they're not difficult. They're quite easy questions. So in question number 1, according to the Mandukya Upanishad, what does the symbol Om represent? Is it A, B, C, or D?
The A, past, present, and future.
Very good, Mataji. Correct answer is A. It's the 3 states of time: past, present, and future. And the explanation, Mandukya Upanishad describes Om as encompassing the entire spectrum, past, present, and future, as well as transcending time, symbolizing the ultimate reality which is in slide 24 in your deck. What is the third quarter? Remember we said Om is composed of 4/4 or 4 quarters. So the third quarter, what is the third quarter? The Tritaya Padaha described in the Mandukya Upanishad.
Deep sleep, sir.
Deep sleep, very good, PJ Prabhuji. Prajna, a higher level of knowledge. Prajna, deep sleep state. That is the third part. So the correct answer, Prajna, deep sleep state, explanation. Prajna is the third quarter representing deep sleep. In this state, the individual experiences undivided, blissful consciousness without material desires or dreams. Next question. What does Tejas represent in the Mandukya Upanishad? A hint, a Tejas means creating images.
In the dream state?
Very good, Prabhuji.
Yeah, dream state.
Dream state. The subtle dream state of consciousness. So Tejasa corresponds to the dream state, Swapnasthano, where consciousness turns inward, constructing experiences based on the waking state. Next one. Which sound in Om represents the dream state? It's very easy now. Is it A, U, M, or silence?
So you,
Very good. It is U. Explanation. In the Mandukya Upanishad, U or Ukara represents the dream state, linking the waking and the dream state, the deep sleep states, symbolizing the luminous and imaginative nature of consciousness during dreams. Okay. Last question. Which state of consciousness is represented by the waking state, Jagrati, in the Mandukya Upanishad?
Is yeah, Guruji.
A.
Very good. Mataji, Prabhuji, very good. Vaishvanara. Vaishvanara is your universal man. Okay. So Vaishvanara, the waking state or Jagrati represented by Vaishvanara, it is characterized by outward directed consciousness, your pravritti, and interaction with external world using your gross body and senses. So it can be translated as the universal man or what is common to all men, and with this outward focus. Any questions, please, because we have come to the end of the class. Okay, very good. I'd like to congratulate all of you, okay, because we have made excellent progress in this class in getting this far to understand the Mandukya Upanishad. In the next class, it'll be much easier than this class because you already have the concepts. You already have the concepts of Vaishvanara, you have the concepts of Swapna, Sushupti, all this already embedded within you. So the next class will be much easier. So what we are doing, why are we studying Mandukya Upanishad? Because we are heading towards divinization. We have said to ourselves, enough with being a good human being. We want to become divine beings. So to become divine beings, we have to work towards divinization. So here, this prayer is a wonderful prayer. It goes, Govindeti sada snanam, Govindeti sada japam, Govindeti sada dhyanam, sada Govinda kirtanam. So what we are saying is, let me bathe always, not physically bathing, but let me bathe in thinking about the Lord always. Let me always engage in his prayer, japam, okay, sada, japam. Let me always think about him, meditate upon him, sada dhyanam, and sada Govinda kirtanam. Let me always sing his prayer, his glories, okay? So this is a wonderful means of working our way towards divinization. So make use of these levels of consciousness that we have to continue thriving on earth, yet reverse the process, purva paksha, reverse the process, go back to the cause of creation and reverse it. Reverse the process by turning towards God, who provided us the tree to start with. He's provided us the tree. Now we're going back to the seed. So Sada Govinda Kirtanam. Sing the Lord praises always. Okay, let's do the prayer. Guru Vandana. Om Gum Guru Bhyo Namaha.
Om
Om Gam Guru
Bhyo
Namaha.
Namaha.
Om Namo Bhagavate Brahmanandaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Brahmanandaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Shivanandaya.
Om Namo
Namo
Bhagavate Shivanandaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo
Om
Bhagavate
Bhagavate
Vasudevaya.
Prabhuji's Matajis, thank you so much for being in today's class. Jai Shri Krishna. Om Namah
Jai
Shivaya.
Shri Krishna. Thank
Jai
you.
Shri Krishna. Om Namah Shivaya. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.